Hello, welcome to Authentic You. I'm SeaJay Leapshire, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Erika Myberg.
Hello.
And Deborah Giles.
Hi.
We do that because now you're supposed to memorize our voices so you know who was speaking. Did you get that in that quick hi? Say something in Afrikaans, Erika.
Hoe gaan dit met almal vandag?
Yes.
I asked, how is it going with everybody today?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I
I've
know.
never heard you talk like that.
You haven't?
No, that's amazing.
Oh.
It's Dan. I was talking to my son yesterday. He asked something about you. I don't know, something. And I said, well, she can speak Afrikaans. And he goes, oh, then she's got Dutch in her. Is that right? Is
Yes, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he was very like,
Wait, which son is that?
William. He had so much knowledge. I said, ask her. She'll be here tomorrow. You
Yeah.
can ask her.
Why is he so
Yeah.
smarty?
I know. He's a show off. It's annoying.
Yeah. Seriously.
Makes me feel dumb. And I'm already
It's a
not that smart.
Dutchman, the first white person that came from Europe to the Cape of Good Hope.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
When Erica's really tired, Afrikaans will slip out in sentences.
Yeah. Mhm.
So like she'll be talking and there's just words that she
Really?
says that are in Afrikaans that I have no idea what she's saying. And usually if she's that tired, I'm that tired.
Right.
It's like we've traveled
Yes,
or something.
yes.
So I'm just like, And then we'll realize she's saying things in two languages, which
Yeah.
I can't do at all.
No,
I don't
right.
know how you hold two languages in your brain.
Very smart.
Well,
You
and your
have to be.
husband, Your husband speaks it as well.
Yes.
Do your kids speak it?
No. Ruben and Chloe understand a whole lot.
Okay. They do.
Because, yes, but they can't. Like Chloe is probably the one who can help herself a little bit. They will pick it up quickly.
Okay.
When we go there.
Yeah.
Emma, when I speak Afrikaans to her, Emma just tells me, "Don't speak Spanish to me." That's what she did when she
Don't
was
speak
younger. Yeah,
Spanish
she's like, "Don't speak Spanish to me."
That's amazing. I would love to have another language I could speak that kids don't know. We got a full argument, so no one would know. It'd just be like,
She'll do that. Like they'll come over,
Yeah.
and like I can tell she's irritated about something,
Right.
Or just wants to go, even,
Right.
And I'll see her say something to Rainier, but she does it quietly. She's not like
Yes.
rude about it, or like.
No.
But I just know
You
them
know-
well enough. We've been friends for long enough that I can see her like, blah, blah, blah.
Mostly
and I'm like,
in Afrikaans, I would say I'm ready to go.
oh,
yeah,
okay.
Basically,
and I'm
Yes.
like, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
What I'd really want it for is to tell Banning when I'm irritated,
Right.
though. Like when we're
Oh,
we're
yes.
in a group of people, because we
right.
so often are in a group of people, and Banning can just be winning people over, doing his thing, and I'm just shrinking away. The other day, he had me literally following him around. I can't remember where we were, but we were with people I didn't know, and oh my gosh, we were at a wedding, and he thought he had left me with people I knew. He didn't.
No.
And then he's just off doing like ministry talks. And finally I tried to like just go over to where he was, and he's so in ministry land that he's not even noticing. So I'm just like following him like a little puppy around this wedding because I knew nobody. And everything in me was like, how do I tell him?
Right.
Because if he knows, Banning's one of those, like if I told him, if I was able to stop him and go, hey, hun, I don't know anybody. Could you involve me? He'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And like adjust. But to get him to stop would take a like grab him, pin him down. Can you listen to me for 3 minutes? And then he'd adjust. So if I had another language.
Right. That would be amazing.
It's fun, not fun. Well, I have my youngest. I've only one kid left, of course, living in the house. And she's the one, Emma, who doesn't understand it. So Rainier and I, these days, we do a lot of Afrikaans with her in the house because we talk about her.
That's amazing.
In Afrikaans. And she doesn't really know. But you got to watch your tone because tone is easy to...
Yes.
And then you also...
Interpret, yes.
Yeah, and then obviously some words would be similar, but then there's most of the Afrikaans words. Like if I, say the word humble, in Afrikaans it's nederig.
Oh, yeah.
So there's she can't make that jump, it sounds terrible, guys. I apologize. But sometimes you have to talk about your children while they are around.
Just like as a
So
parent.
that helps us.
To be able to go, like there's so many times Banning will come in and want to correct in a moment that if
Yes.
I could go, not the right time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Not the right time.
That's
literally
And just to help
beautiful.
him go like, hey, you're not actually wrong.
Right.
It's not the right time.
Yes.
Or when he walks into the room of people and you could just go, hey, don't bring this up. Just a reminder, don't bring this up here.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be
Instead
amazing?
of them trying to read your eyes, they're like so like literal, like wait, was something going on here? And you're like,
that is
can you
banning.
just read my eye, like, read the room? Like, don't come in and just
We
start
can
guessing.
be in a huge group of people. He'll go, are you upset about something? I'm like, yes, I am. This person over here hurt my feelings. What? What do you think I'm going to say?
And then it makes you more embarrassed because now they look at you and now everyone's looking at you and you're like, could you not even ask? Like,
My
just
favorite
leave it
is
alone.
he's being genuine. And so
Yeah.
then when I say, no, I'm fine, he goes, great. And then they like moves on.
Literal.
And you're like, of course I'm not fine. Do you see the tears welling in my eyes? No, you don't. You
27
don't.
years of marriage right there.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. I'm like, how did you not catch on to that?
I know.
I can tell by the way you twitch your finger when you're
Yes.
upset. And you can't see, I've got tears streaming down my face, but I said I'm fine. So you just scooted on.
Right. It's so true. And it's almost like when you say I'm fine, you see relief in their eyes.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay, good. And you're thinking, you didn't even ask another question. Like I said, I'm fine in a very quiet, stiff way. And you're like, oh, good, she's fine. And moves right. You're like, hold on. Like, did you
They're
not
like,
read
we're
the tone?
off the hook.
Yes,
they are.
exactly.
And it's not me. Yay.
Yes. It's like we need a flag system.
Me too.
Orange flag.
Yeah, you better get over here.
Yeah. Orange flag. Red flag, we're going home right now with another language or not.
Yes.
That's a good
I
idea.
don't even know if I would use the green flag a lot.
Yeah, green flag, go
wouldn't-
on.
You wouldn't do a green flag during menopause.
Nope.
But
No.
hey, let us not get distracted here with menopause
No.
because that is a whole.
We can talk a lot about it, and we just don't want to bore
Yes,
you
we
all
have like 7 episodes already.
of menopause.
Yes.
A lot to talk about.
What are we talking about today, CJ?
Well, me and Deborah were discussing things. Erika doesn't remember this discussion, even though she piped in. But we were talking
yeah.
about. we
I'll
giggle.
embrace that.
We giggle that Erika just deletes things from her mind, so I have to remind her. We discussed this. She's like, "Oh, okay, great." But about what it is, our generation or our age are in this interesting sandwich of.
How old are you?
I'm 48.
How old are you, Deborah?
47?
47, 48. Okay, I'm 52.
Erika's
Okay.
really old.
Yeah, very mature, full of wisdom. I have 4 more years of experience on this planet than you guys.
Yeah.
We feel it.
I mean,
Yeah.
think of your first 4 years. What happens? What we
I'm
put
planning
in
how I'm going to take care of you.
there. Thank you, though.
I love to say
Appreciate
these things to
that.
her because she's my serious friend. She's like, shut up. I'm in better shape than you are. Let me list the ways
yeah,
you will never
actually,
take
I'm
care of me.
working on how to take care of you. But anyway,
Yeah.
but thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm banking on that.
Okay, carry on. Sorry.
But how we are in the middle of our kids are getting older. They're getting more independent, but we're trying to figure out how do you stay in your kids' lives and let go and all this stuff. And at the same time, your parents, it's switching to your parents needing you more and more. And then you're trying to figure out, like, how do I stay being a kid to my parents, being a child, being honoring, yet I'm needing to be in charge of some things. It's such a interesting place I find myself.
Yeah, it really is because there's always been this balance of they're the parents. So they make the decisions. You just kind of go along with what they want. And then as they get older, they kind of do turn into a kid in some ways where they still want to make decisions and they still want to do what they do, but they've got things that they need help with for the first time ever. And so it's humbling for them to like need the help. And then you're in this place of, at least for me, I always thought like when I go to take care of my parents, my kids will be up and out of the house and I'll have all this time and energy to like, and do all that. But then you find that your kids are still growing up. So you're in this weird, that sandwich situation where you're trying to help your parents and you're trying to help your kids and then you're going through menopause. Yes, I'm bringing it up again.
Yes.
But you have no hormones. I mean, I think I texted you CJ the other day, like, I think I would rather have my babies back like, because it was like, this is the hardest season ever. And I think CJ, you're dealing with probably more of parents that need, actually both you and Erika, more help. I've had some things and it's gonna, obviously they're getting older, but what has that been like to balance both?
Well, even things like recently, I was looking at my parents' bills because technology is so different for them, and luckily I have Rainier, Erica's husband, who I can call because I was like, hey, it looks like they have multiple accounts of different streaming platforms. How can that be? And like, I wouldn't have understood what to do. And Rainier's like, oh, you can get like, say, Hulu. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on YouTube TV. I don't know exactly. But so they could be paying for Hulu on 3 different things and have no idea. But why would they know that?
Right.
Like it's so new for them. And so then I'm having to do
then you're
something,
like,
and then you
the
feel
password?
bad because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm diving into my parents' bank account.
Yes.
Like, are you guys okay with this? Like,
Yes.
I don't want to overstep, and I don't want to make you feel dumb because I can imagine how you got here. Like, this is confusing. You think you're opening your Hulu that you have already paid for, and then you're signing up for a new one without even knowing it.
Yes.
And here comes the bill.
Right.
So it's that stuff that you're like trying to, like, I want to do this honoring, but it is hard work sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I don't like doing my own bills.
Right. Yes.
It's stressful enough to figure out if I'm overpaying and what to do about stuff and what to remove, and having to do that for somebody else. And then weighing like, am I being a jerk if I tell you, hey, you don't need Hulu?
Right.
We're removing Hulu. I'm like, what? I don't know. That's the stuff that's just.
Yeah, like how do I put boundaries on things, but they're my parents, and so it's like, how do I say you don't need that, or you shouldn't do that, or without feeling disrespectful or making them feel dumb? Like part of it is a little like you don't want them to feel dumb, but you're realizing, oh, you don't have the capacity to understand all that anymore. And so how do I say it in the right way? I think you got me when you said you were returning Amazon packages for them. I was like, yep, like this is where it's at, and it's wild. It's a wild season to be in.
It's just different. Or like this was a big one for me recently is, I had my oldest just turned 26, and that means they're not on your insurance anymore.
Oh, yes.
And so that was a whole thing of she had a job, but she had opted out of insurance through that job. And then she was set to get a new job in 3 months. So like researching what is out there for young adults that's affordable insurance. Is it worth it to dive into it within 3 months? And then at the same time, I find out what my parents are paying for insurance, and I have no idea what Medicare offers.
Yes.
And I'm like, so now I'm learning about Medicare.
Yeah.
And what are the different plans? And why would you do this plan? And what is bad if you get off this plan? It's just so much information that I'm like, I don't even know if I'm any good at it.
Right.
Like,
right. And now you have to be an expert at it.
Yes.
You're like, I didn't even, like I still feel like a kid in those things. And now I have to be the adult, and now I have to parent the adults around me. It's a struggle.
And you're just sitting there going, I want to help. Like, it's not that I do want to help. I'm the type, I volunteer to do this stuff.
Yeah.
I do. Erika and I have wrestled with this, and she always asks me good questions when I get myself into these. Like, SeaJay, what are you doing? Have you thought about what this means for your family? I'm like, yes. But I didn't know. I didn't think about things like, I don't know about Medicare insurance or what seniors need.
Right. Well, then you realize too, like, how much do I want to insert myself? Like, is it time for me to insert myself, or do I, like, am I inserting myself too soon where they can really still figure it out for the next 5 years? Or is it time for me to get in there and do it? And you don't always know if, like, is it too premature? But then you're seeing needs. So you're like, oh, I really do need to get in there and help. Sometimes you don't know if they really need the help that you're giving, or you feel like they need more help than they realize. They don't realize they need the help.
I'm actually probably an advocate for getting involved before you need to, because I think usually if you wait until the need arises, it's pretty deeply in there.
Yeah.
If there's, it's like so big that it's really overwhelming, like I started going to the doctor with my one set of parents, and it just opened my eyes to all that they are asked, and then do they remember it all? And then sometimes it scares them because they don't understand it. So if I'm there, I can ask questions. It's just somebody else to bounce stuff off of. Even if I don't have an answer, I could go, oh, well, let's figure this out together. Actually, that's not what that meant. you thought they were saying this about your liver, but this is actually what it means. And you can kind of help bring peace. And so now I've started going to the doctor with another set of parents just to help be there so that as the doctor says things, I remember. Because like I just had a family member who their hip went really bad and they were in a ton of pain, and you could tell it was scaring them because they were like, okay, does this mean I'm going to lose like ability to exercise? And they went into the doctor, and the doctor's like, I've been treating you for this for 2 years. It's arthritis in your hip, but they had forgotten.
Right.
You know, and so if they had somebody that was going with them to go like, hey, remember, this is what it is, because we have so much going on.
Right.
I mean, it's not a big deal to forget that stuff, you know? And so, but I thought, oh, this is where I think family can help to just go, oh, no, that's just that. We've been walking through this for a long time.
I think too, in the medical world, you have to be your own advocate. And so you have to be like, we had a situation medically, and I won't go into the whole details of it, but where I went in and with a family member, and there just was this sense of they didn't fight for themselves. They actually put on a smile on their face because they're used to being okay.
Yeah.
And they're saying they're okay. And I'm saying, no, they're not okay. But the doctor's going, well, they look okay. And you're thinking, no, they're not okay. I've known them my whole life.
Yes,
they're not okay.
yes.
And so having to be strong and be like, no, let's figure this out. And I think it's that weird thing of, you know, I'm used to them being the parent. Like, no, you go and fight for yourself. I'll sit quiet and listen.
Yeah.
And yet they're kind of looking at you like a kid. Like, can you come in and help me? Like, I don't know what to do. They almost don't know what to do in those situations. So it's a struggle to know the balance of it. Do you, how do you balance that with having kids? Like, cause you've got the kids.
Well. I'm never overwhelmed. I never sit and cry in Starbucks to Erika and list everything off. Never. I do it perfectly. It does make me go, I think Americans we've created this, like, this is our home, and parents have their own home, and you kind of assume that that's going to work fine. But, the generations before us had multi-generational homes, and I totally get it now.
Yep.
Like, it would be so much easier if I had a way to just have them at my house. That they had a space and we could do this. It would be so much easier. Yeah. There'd be harder parts, but the day in, day out stuff of just being able to check on them, and it would just be great, So I can see why it was like that. And I feel like, what the other thing that I found that's hard is there's not a lot of services. I had talked to Erika about this one time. I was like, I think we could start a business.
Yeah.
I could be an elderly advocate, because there's just stuff that I like to, I've got to dive in to try to help people. And I go like, oh, like my, one of my family members got a tax bill that was crazy high. Oh. And I said, hold on a second. I don't think that's right.
Right.
I got on the phone, I called their CPA and just was like, you've done their taxes for a long time. Is this correct? And realized they had told them something different. They didn't know that by saying this, it would mean they would do this.
Right.
And I was and it dropped down to like nothing. But I was like, this is why the older generation needs people. And not everybody has that. Not everybody lives in the same place.
Right.
And I was like, I wonder if I could do this.
Yeah.
But then I got into insurance, and I quickly was like, no, I can't. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's true. I want to know, like, obviously, Erika, your mom and dad are in another country. And, my husband understands his biggest thing that he battles sometimes is my parents are in another nation. And what do we do when they get older? And how do we take care of them? And they're in their, you don't want to pull them out of their community because that's what they've always known. And so ripping them out and putting them in another country is not going to work. But how has that been for you and the health struggles with your mom and stuff?
It's been hard. I'm sitting here, I may cry. I knew I was going to cry. This is what I feel about my parents. It's like we are here where we are because we're following the Lord. And I don't want to be anywhere else, right? This is the future of my kids are here. My parents are in another country, but this makes it very real that my parents had multiple opportunities to come here, to come and be with us. And then as in now, I have to be at peace with that was their choice. And so for me, when we talk about, oh, they become like children or whatever, I personally have a hard time with that or even talking like that, because we are here paying the price both ways. Really, it costs us. For my parents as adults made those decisions, and now it would be very hard. I couldn't bring my mom. My mom is now in a home for dementia. And my dad is in the same town living by himself. He's going to be 89. And I believe my siblings that my dad should be in the same retirement home. And it would just be in a different area, not where my mom is. And my dad is, no, he's like, I'm not ready. And the best I can do is have an honest conversation with him and say, Dad, when you're ready, it will be too late.
Right.
But I am, and my siblings, we all agree with it. And none of us want to treat my dad or my mom like they are children, even though we do not agree with
It's so hard.
his choice right now. But and what it would look like in reality is that we would all have to show up and pick him up and move him, because none of us are going to force him, so that it is this fine line that we walk in. It's hard, and I don't know most days the right way. There's so many people. I really encountered it during COVID, where a lot of people moved away, and their reason was they're going to be with family, And so when you look at our situation, it may look like the logical reason is that we all have to move back to South Africa to go be with the family, but it's not that easy, and it isn't black and white, but internally, I have to face that question a ton, like ask the Lord, like, am I a good daughter?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm not sure of the answer, even though God is kind and I know that we're doing it right. But I have to struggle through that question. And should we just pick up everything and go? And then I went recently, my husband and we went in May to go visit my parents. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life, to go see my mom and the decline. But you know what? As I sat there with her, I knew that I want to be where my grandkids are going to be. That
Absolutely.
My husband and I are going to choose, no matter what it costs us, to be intentional with our kids and our grandkids, And I have to be honest about the fact that part, my parents could have done better, in terms of us and the grandkids. But I'm not angry or mad.
No.
Or I'm sad. Sorry. But this is the tender road right now.
Oh, yes.
I have to wrestle through that every day, and I have to love from afar. And because we're in this situation where my brother lives in England and my sister is in Ireland. But people may look upon that and think, oh, that's horrible, but that's weird. But for our culture, it's not weird.
Yeah.
My parents are successful parents because they send their kids gladly to a better place, a country with better opportunities, and they are happy for us and the lives that we have built. But it's this ascending country,
Yes.
so it's not weird for us, but I can tell you it costs us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It costs them and it costs us. And we wouldn't change a thing. I would have loved to have them here now so I can talk the way you guys do. So, but anyway.
It's been, though, because I've obviously been friends with you for so long, that I've watched you and your relationship with your parents. And even though they're not here, I watch you still carry that balance.
Yes.
Like you had your daughter getting married and you had a group text making sure your family had all the pictures in the midst of it because your dad couldn't be here because your mom. And, so it's like, I don't think you have to be in person to know the feeling of straddling two different things. And you're just a much more intense straddle in that, like you had to leave for 2 weeks to go spend time with your family and you sacrificed that way. You might not be returning Amazon packages, but you are sitting and rubbing your mom's hands and doing the things that are precious. I mean, even that, like what you did with your mom was so beautiful. Cause that in a way is to me what Deborah and I are saying of like, your mom did that with you and now you're sitting and holding her hands and just talking to her and being there, and like, it's but you can see, I feel like a lot of generations or now, not the older ones, they chose to kind of just not look at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, like I know, I don't think this is oversharing or anything, like what it cost you to go because you knew it was going to be hard to see your mom, but you wanted to see your mom and you chose her over your comfort. And I feel like so many in other generations have just chosen comfort because it is hard to see our parents like that.
Yeah. I think as I'm listening to you guys too, I know that, we talk a lot and what we have to process is really the consequences of our parents' decisions, right? This is what you sitting with SeaJay with their bad financial decisions, because a lot of that's what it is. What we have control over is us right now, right? So my thoughts are a ton busy with what are the good things of them that I can embrace and build, and where can I learn from, because I have sets of married children right now, and my husband's mantra has always been, and the choices we make is that we want to be parents who bring our strength to our children. So what's interesting is like I'm the only one who follows the Lord in my family. My husband, he's got a couple more, but my dad and my mom in their situation right now, they don't follow the Lord or anything, but I am so thankful for them because until this day, us as children have not had to step in to financially rescue them or anything. They were just hard-working parents who they didn't want to burden us. So even were they not following the Lord, they had a future generation in mind and they lived like that. And they made choices like that. And so, and I am just amazed. And so right now we're not even forced to have to step in and help financially or what. And then we have another set is now a single parent, my husband's mom, who, it's the craziest thing. They had such an anointing for growing business and squandered it because of terrible choices and doing things in isolation, not doing community all their lives, So we have a situation now where this particular parent has no money and is completely supported by children. If they're, and there's the added stress of if one loses their job, the one sibling loses their job, how is the mom going to be supported, the aged mom? And so it is very stressful. And so maybe this is hard for younger listeners because when you're in your 20s, you don't think about anything beyond next weekend. And I get that. We were all there, but we are now in that, we are in the in-between. And I am thinking, well, what can I do? What can we do? And
make
how
it
can I set myself up to bring our strength to our children as older adults and when we get to be grandparents? So, and for me, it starts now.
Oh,
And
Yes.
I'm really not even talking about finances.
No, yeah.
I'm talking about do community, show them how that is, ask for help. If you're not a future thinker, we're not even, me and Renee, we're not like you and Banning even like strengths of future thinking, but all we're doing right now is thinking about the future and making choices because, we want to bring our strength to our children. When I work on my relationship with my children right now, I'm like, all I'm about is God, work on me.
Yeah.
Because for me to be a grandma 20 years from now and that I may be old in my body, but carry strength.
Yes.
I am working now. I am inviting the Lord into me. And, He is so faithful. But it's a lot of tears because this 5-year-old Erika thinks that He is taking me back to and dealing with so that Grandma Erika can walk in peace and strength and be a strength to my children. Because when I read the Bible, there is a very clear picture of what older people can bring and should be. And so there's parts of my mom and dad that I thank the Lord for and embrace. And then there's a lot that's falling by the wayside. And I also want to say that this is a journey of being intentional, not reaction. Because I don't think that I will be any good as a grandparent if I'm still living in reaction to what my parents did or didn't do. So I don't have a everyday you here on my front door.
But you are dealing with it emotionally.
Yeah.
And you're not running from it. And you're letting what is going on in you with your parents help you be better in the future and now. I was thinking when you brought up the 20-year-old, I do think I'm a little bit different because of my childhood that you guys have heard little bits about. But my granny, I watched her take care of her mom and then her husband's mom. Lived with them, and I was a little girl. And I remember talking to Granny, and I would tell her all the time how she was going to live with me. She was like, SeaJay, it's really hard work. I don't want to do that to you. But then she would say, but it's an honor to take care of those that took care of you. And I do think, we think that with our own kids a lot, like what a gift it is to be a parent, to be a mom. And so to have that mindset that whatever it is, far away, because I don't think it has to be the day-to-day stuff that everybody has to do, but making that conscious effort of, I talk to my parents because, oh my gosh, I have a brother that lives out of state. When he takes the time to call my parents, that's all I hear about for a week straight, is that phone call that my brother made and every detail about what he's doing in his life, I get to hear about, but I see the joy on their face just to hear from him. And it makes me go, oh, this is all parents need as they age. Like, even if you can't be with them in every little thing, they just love to hear from their kids. And for us to remember and not forget that that's a way we love our kids. That's a way we can honor our family, our parents. And
I would even say, with Daniel's parents being gone, living in another country, he has made a commitment every Monday to call his mom. And I think sometimes it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And I think sometimes we think, well, if I live in the same town, then I have way more quality with them. That's not always true.
No.
You going for 2 weeks and having face-to-face every day with your mom is probably as much as you would get in a full year with her.
Exactly.
If you were just doing life, because life gets in the way. You have these moments of, and I think back to my grandparents. I didn't live in my grandparents' area ever. But I love them and I remember them because when I was with them, it was this quality time I had with them for this couple weeks a year. And the way my parents talked about them and the way they loved me, it filled that cup as a kid that I think, idealistically it would have been great to have grandma next door, but that wasn't the case. And I think it goes back to too, like I'm thinking about people who are listening. You know, you either have one of two roles. Your parents are near you or your parents are far away. And I think what it makes you do is go back to, did I hear God in my life? And I did. Like God called us to come to America. God called Daniel to come to England, from England to here. He called us. And so when it gets difficult, we have to go back to not the guilt and shame of that decision, but of, no, you called me, God. And because of that, my parents are your kids. You're going to take care of them because we were obedient to the call that was on our lives and what to do. And if God told you tomorrow, Erika, to sell everything and move there, you would do it in a split second.
Yes.
This is not about you being stubborn or saying, no, I don't want to help. No, your heart is there. Your heart is turned towards them, but you also are thinking of the next generation and your kids. And I think looking at that and going, I can only do so much for my parents, but I can do a ton for my kids. And it's important for me to show up as the best grandparent I can be, best mom I can be for my kids. And so it is that balance. And I think as people, especially when your parents are far away, you can feel shame. Like, think about it. You begin to feel shame. You feel like there's an idealistic side. Like my sister doesn't live. My parents live by me. My sister doesn't. And so the way she talks about me living with my parents is this idealistic, like Hallmark movie thing that I'm having dinner every night with them and I'm, just enjoying. And it's like, no, we get together and Daniel fixes the cable because it doesn't work. And I water the plants. And it is just normal day in, day out stuff. But when sometimes I actually get not jealous, but I don't even want to say envious. Not that, but when they go see her, it's not life. They don't have any bills to pay. They don't have life to do. They get to sit on the couch every day and talk for hours about their life and connect. And I feel like sometimes they get more quality time with her than they do with me because I'm just doing life every day with them. It doesn't have that same experience. And so I think those who are away from your parents, you can have this idealistic view of what you think it would be like to be around your parents. And that's not always reality. And I would say if you have parents that live close, do SeaJay, like be there, be connected, show up. I mean, we even say like my husband's brother who lives near his parents never calls his mom, and they live in the same country, but it's just a different thing. And so I think being purposeful, like you said, being purposeful if you're not there to carry it in your heart, to pray for them, to connect with them, and also to reach out on a very regular basis so they know you're there and available. And then if you are, I think sometimes I would take it for granted that my parents are here. I don't even think of them not being here. But then I hear your story, Erika, and I go, oh, Lord, thank you for this season that they're here with me. They may not always be. They may be, with my sister one day. But thank you for that. And then, my heart does go out to my husband because it's just a journey that no one, especially as you have kids, never want to face that, to have your kids move to another nation. Like that's tough. That's a hard thing. Even though my in-laws hear God, they love the Lord. They know God called Daniel to be here. It's hard. It's like choose your hard. And so it's a struggle.
I honor them for sending us because that's the thing. Our parents send us and full well knowing the cost that my kids grew up without a real sense of grandparents. They didn't have grandkids or children in the country, and so it's a cost all around for everybody. But would anybody change anything? No, they would not. And I honor them for that. And then I realized too that as pioneering as it was for us to just come to America, build our family here, we are continuing to pioneer because we now are responsible to show our kids what grandparents can look like. Because they don't really have an idea because they didn't grow up with them in their lives. And I think my parents could have done better in that respect. And that's a whole nother thing. But it's so I am, like I said, I am very occupied with thoughts of, okay, then how am I going to do grandparenting good?
Yes.
What do I do now? Because I do look around and I see a lot of old people and they look so irritated with the younger generation. And I understand a little bit more. I think there's a lot of old people that are in pain physically and it makes you grumpy. And I understand that way more. And I'm also like, okay, older people, come, let's work on that because it's a two-way street. I need older people at where I am at, my children need older people, but I need younger people. We need each other. And I'm like, I want to be like us ladies, be committed and accountable to each other. SeaJay and I talk about it a lot. Like, we have to help each other to remain teachable.
Yes.
I'm going to help her be a nice old lady.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
because for me, it's like, hey, I understand technology changes and whatever, but I'm like, then let's take a class as old people
Right,
to learn
right.
things and be knowledgeable. Because not because you want to be better, because I want to steward my life and
Right.
take responsibility for my own growth until I see Jesus one time. I don't want to at some point sign up for 3 Hulu programs on 3
Right.
services because I've got no clue and I don't care.
Well, yeah.
So to me, there's a sense of, like, be proud, understand that God has given us this life to steward, and growing older is just, it's not an excuse. It becomes slower and harder, maybe, but I am still responsible for my own growth.
Absolutely.
And my own
Absolutely.
healing as an older person. And so this is why at this age, we are thoroughly encouraging each other, and I make sure my thoughts are there, and I understand that, you know what, it'll be better to make this decision now at 52 than wait when I'm 72 and I get very harsh feedback of whatever. I'm like, no, I mean, I want to work now on the grandma I want to be 20 years from now, and make sure that I want to always be better. I want to grow. I want to honor the younger generation.
Well, isn't that,
And-
I think what you're saying, which I think is really important, no one is coming to rescue you. If you don't get a hold of your own life,
Yes.
you're going to give your life to your kids to
Yes.
handle. If you don't get your
Yes.
finances in order, if you don't get your health in order, if you don't get your spiritual life in order, if you don't get these things, you are doing your children a disservice because you think, I don't want to deal with it right
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
But what happens is someone's going to have to come and pick up the pieces. So if you live a hoarder's life, if you live with clutter and you don't pay your bills and you do all the things, that's not what CJ's
And that
like.
is
But
the
but that
opposite
is-
of me bringing my strength
Yes. 100%.
to my
It's a load,
children.
it's a
and
burden.
and I mean, we giggle about it, but we basically, with a group of friends, we are all paying for cremations. We have
Yes.
chosen our
Oh, yeah.
plans. We have our cremation, because I was like, listen, watching friends at this age going through parents or family members that pass away and have not stewarded and
Exactly.
prepared, and the pain and the burden, in a sense, we're like, oh, wait, let's learn here, because we just tell our kids laugh about it, but we're like, hey, you laugh now.
Yep.
This
You'll
will
be
be
thankful later.
one of the last great gifts we
100%.
give you as parents, that on that time where you're going to grieve and mourn,
Yep.
we will be with Jesus and you will be busy mourning, but you don't have to worry about this part.
Well, and the Bible talks about leaving a legacy. Like it talks a lot about legacy. And I think sometimes we make it, well, it's only spiritual. I don't think it is. I think it's having a legacy of integrity to leave things in a way that does not cause more burden. Because think about it, we're all at an age, we're in our 40s and 50s, where we're still trying to raise our kids and then soon to be grandkids. And now to worry about things that we're not taken care of because our parents didn't want to deal with it. It's just, it's sad. And I just think, like, what do I want I think about my Nana who died 20 years out. She had Alzheimer's for 18 years. My grandpa died in his 50s, but he had left enough for her that she lived the next 50 years in a retirement home, paid for, because he worked hard. Not that everyone can do that, but I'm saying he left a legacy that it wasn't on the 5 kids to have to handle that. Now, some of it you will. Like my other family probably would have that. We'd have to deal with it, and it would be what it was. But if you can purposely do it, if you have any way to help your kids with as you get older, why not? Like, why not bless them?
And this is where I with my dad, who does, like I said, they do not have a relationship with the Lord yet, basically. But so here is this man, he's going to be 89. He was in the Air Force for 30 years. Life is very simple in South Africa. No, they never had an extravagant life. So my dad has like this little bit of money. And the children, I have 2 siblings, older brother, younger sister, and they are like, Dad, use that money, go into the retirement, like, they wanting him. And I had just at some point, I was just like, hey guys, this is a man who even with all the heartache and pain, he wants to leave something for the kids, for me and my 2 siblings. And I'm like, that money that he has is literally nothing. I don't want to say it's nothing. It is so little, but to force him and to constantly bring it up and Dad, I was like, at some point, guys, this is a man who believes in leaving something for his kids. It is going against who he is as a good man and a father.
Yeah.
To like, okay, I'm going to use it all up and leave you nothing.
Right.
Even though it's going to be so little,
Yeah.
it'll be something, and
It's
it
the
will
heart
make
behind it.
him is like, you have been the best dad that you know how to be.
Absolutely.
You have been to us, and I choose to honor him for that. There's just a point where I'm like, okay, Dad, I don't think you should live here by yourself. I do believe there is a better way, but at this point, I am praying. And I'm like, God, you're the one who can talk to him in a way that he understands. But I am not going to force him to get rid of the money that he, as a father, believes he needs to leave for his children. I'm going to honor that and respect that.
And not
we
to
will
say-
deal with them. And so I just want to say that this is somebody that doesn't even walk with
Right,
the Lord.
it's
And it's
still-
such a strong, inherent, like, no, we got to leave something for the kids.
Yeah,
And,
it's
it
amazing.
is just, so yeah, there was just a point where I was like, no, that is going to cause him to, I don't know, to step out of something that he worked for that all his life and believed it in his very simple life.
Right.
And my job is to honor and respect that, not to try to get him to give it up, even though I believe there's a different, he should be
Right.
with my mom.
Right. And
You know?
I think, obviously money is not eternal. And I get that.
Yes.
And no matter if you can leave any or not, that's not the point. I
No,
don't think it's the point of
no.
what we're saying. I think we're saying, give what you can, like be at a place where whatever you can do to have things in order and to live a healthy life and do it, like almost answer all the questions that your kids need. If you have the means to do that to bless them. And then hopefully you as kids, as we are, we're going to give everything we can to our parents. They loved us. We're going to love them back. We're going to support them. We're going to help them. We're going to believe that God's going to make up the difference.
Yes.
Even when you're like, I don't know if I have the funds to help and they don't have the funds. And so how are we going to do this? But God knows he's going to work it
Yep.
all out.
Yep.
And all of that. But I do think that there's a little bit of this side where as you get older, I think there's this like, now I get to live it up and do what I want. And sometimes the kids reap the consequences of that because they don't think of anything but their old age and not the legacy of that. So I don't know if that makes sense. I hope no one gets confused by this, but I just, I hope that you understand that we're going to do the best we can as women to live
and
the most healthy we can.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the balance, and I think as we close, the thing that I would encourage, I have a lot of parents in my life because of divorce and stuff. So, hot mix of them all in there.
Yeah.
And one of the things I felt like the Lord has really helped me do in a way of honoring is to recognize what each one brings. That's the positive. Like what I like how you're explaining your dad, Erika. And it's like you take a moment to see like, oh, why are they in? Like my dad tells me stories about his life and his childhood and my grandparents. And he tells me the same story over and over again. But you know what? I remember my family because of my dad. I remember things because of my dad. And I relish it now. Like when I sit and he's told me the same story for the 150th time about his brother, I'm like, I won't forget about my dad's brother because of this. And instead of being irritated, I take a moment to just value that part of him. And it's interesting. My stepmom, I haven't been around her in so long, and I've moved them, and now she lives close to me. She saved almost every letter my kids ever sent her. And she sat as she's going through them with me, and I went, wow, you really loved my kids when they were young. Like you cherished things that I didn't even know you cherished. And so to just take time to pay attention that each one, and they all have their own things that you want to strangle them for, just like ourselves, our kids and our spouses. But when I can stop and go, oh, like you with your dad, I think it'd be better for him to live in the home, but I can see this about him. And this I will honor and I will value in the midst of this, and I think that's the straddle. It's like we do that with our kids. You're the rudest little snot at 16 I've ever seen, but I see this in you and you're going to be an amazing man one day. And I think it's turning it to like, oh, I do that with my parents now too. And that's the sandwich we're in, of like, I'm trying not to kill people on both sides during menopause. My goal is to keep everyone alive and not be killed with my words. And so far, we're making it.
Good job, SeaJay.
I know. Anyway, this is a very vulnerable talk because we're all in the midst of it. And so too much vulnerability, I have to come up with a joke. So,
thank you.
I'm like, I got to pull us out somehow. If we keep talking, it's going to get inappropriate. We're going to be rated explicit. So thank you for joining us. We would love to hear your stories. Like, how are you balancing it? Do you have a situation with parents that you could share with us? We'd love to hear it. Or your children in the midst of us. Let us know how you guys are doing it. You can find us on Instagram at AuthenticU.ay, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you.